Hello to everyone, this is Vishal. Now we have another session of the day, that is the Dagger dependency injection. And hope all are doing good. And I really appreciate your comments on my videos, as I have uploaded many videos into the MVVM approaches, view model, live data, and you learn on that and give very good comments. So that makes me or feel me that I will make more good videos and upload for you. So the Dagger is one part of the MVVM approaches, but I'm not discussing about today any MVVM with Dagger. I just discuss about what is the Dagger and what the basics of dependency injection. So this is the series of Dagger, and I will upload more videos related to the Dagger in coming sessions. So this is the first video for the Dagger, and in which we learned a small Dagger dependency injection and a small basic principle of how we can implement the Dagger in Android Studio. Once you learn these basics, we can implement in our data binding and MVVM approaches as a user repository, live data, and view model classes. Okay, so let us start this tour. As you see in my Dagger dependency screen, so here you can see that everybody want be that independency in a life. I mean, during the workplace, I want that I have to work my task, I have to complete that task without any dependency. So sometimes what happen that we depend on others, just like if you want with the web services or likewise that. So each and every time you do not waste the time for that person that he is with you and making the web services for you. So that means that he is not totally dependent on you. So what you do, that is the idea. He is doing his work, you are doing your work, and whenever you need it, you just go for that. So that same thing, the same process we are applying on the classes here. If we have a multiple classes, just like first I'm talking about the two classes A and B, and you see on my screens, and A is depend on the B. So whenever B, I want a B instance, we just create it as B is equals to new B in your constructor of A. And if we have a more classes, just like C, D, E, and every class depend on the other, just like C, D on AB on C. So these the complexity may arise, and this is called a tight coupling. So whenever we're talking about we have a multiple classes depends on each others, that's our tight coupling. And whenever we tight coupling occur, that means that is the reusability very less. But what our oops saying? Oops saying that we need to be reusable the things. So for that reusability, what to do? We have to make the classes loose couple. Once the loose coupling occur, that means you have to achieve the idea of a independent way of work. So what to do for that? The idea is constructor injection. So whenever we have any dependency, we have to apply our injection, that is called the dependency injection, on that point and make it a loose coupling, and reusability be more of your classes. So don't we create each and every instances and on that cases, so the testing be very easy. So this is the dependency injection. Whenever we it happen, that means we can make our programs easily. And if somebody asks to you, you can say that explanation is it is a design pattern in software engineering. And how we can pass it, as you see that object of that class b, this dot b and b, that's with the constructor injection also we are saying. Okay, and so this is what we call the dependency injections, means applying the dependencies from outside the class and more specifically for the above code. And if you're talking about the business applications or any application, what we say that we have, it is made up of many classes. These classes collaborate with each other, perform some operations. We create the instances of dependent class object and do the required operations. And when applying dependency injection, the objects are given their dependencies at creation time by some external entity. What we talking about? By some external entity. So it means dependency are injected into objects. So that's the funda of OOPS. And we have modes of injection, dependency injection. That modes be your constructor, setter, interface. You can apply anyone. And what to be the good results or why we use the dependency injection. So we get a loose coupling, we have a easily testable code, we have a code reusability. So the first and third point be interrelated, because of once your classes be a loose coupling, that means a code reusability be more, and that's the OOPS want. And easily testable code, because of each and every class whenever we create a multiple instances, so the testing time we never go for that which class create the instance for that, because of we have a information that we have information of each and every module in our dependency injection, so we can easily test the code. So that's a great benefit of that. And popular libraries as you see on my screen, but I'm talking about the Dagger. I will upload this doc so you can download it and learn. And Dagger 2, I don't want to go with the definition. You just say simple Dagger. Dagger is a dependency injection where we have a dependency or a tight coupling classes. We have to make it loose, and that is a constructor injection. And we can say it is a framework of dependency injection. Easy. And the module provides inject component singleton. These be the areas in which we have to work. These all are annotations for this Dagger. And annotations be like a module level. I will describe it practically to you where we use the module. So this is used on the class that does the work of constructing object that will be eventually provide, and this is used on the method inside the module class that will be return the object. Inject, this is used upon the constructor field or the method and indicates dependency has been requested. So these three be our main annotation. And fourth one is component, because of module and inject never be directly communicate, so that means we need a bridge, and that bridge is component. And singleton, class make a singleton, because of you have to now recreate multiple times new instances, you just go for that. And we have a Dagger 2.10 and annotation processor for the Dagger. These two with the compilations for your Gradle. So this is the area in which we have to work. And Dagger is fully static compile-type dependency injection framework. So design pattern is dependency injection, and Dagger is a framework, follow that DI. That's it. And the coupling between the classes are never be binary. It is either tight or the loose. Whenever you ask about tight coupling and the loose coupling. And as I told you before on the second slide, dependencies maximum time be bet, because of it reduce the reusability due to tight coupling. Hard dependency make it hard for testing. Hard dependency hinders the code's maintainability and the project scales up. And when classes and methods loosely are not coupled or not dependent on many things, it is reusable naturally. Okay. And dependency, we have a class dependency, interface dependency, method dependency, direct dependency, indirect, lot of the kind of independence we have as in screen. But that means this is the bad idea. How we can solve it? Using the DI is what? DI is your design pattern. So for how we can implement it by Dagger. So easy. So that's the conclusion we have to discuss. And this is the definition. Now we have go for the classes and interfaces. I will describe you how can create in Android Studio. So let's start the practical of this. And again I'm talking about, say, if anybody asks you why we need a Dagger, so you can say it where we have a multiple classes, and any business applications consist of multiple classes, and on that case there be a tight coupling, so we have to make it loose. How we can implement? We have a very good design pattern. This is called dependency injection or constructor injection. And how we can implement? We have a Dagger and other libraries, but I'm talking about the Dagger. So we have a Dagger. Using the Dagger, we make it a uh, loose coupling, and so can we can enhance the reusability. Okay, so let us start it in Android Studio so we can explain it more. Okay, so mm, let us start in Android Studio. Okay, so here first we have a Gradle, and in which we have used this Dagger and annotation processor, these two things. And this is simple activity main, in which only a text view, and this is our main activity. Now the first basic thing we have to make it as I want to make a simple string in an interface, how we can call likewise that I describe you each and everything. So for that, first you have to create a interface, and interface is my string. This is my string interface, and here I want to make a method which I have to return, that is the string my name well. So this is our class implementation. So for that, what we need a class, and that class name is my string class. This just describe you, once you can means once you become a master of making these things, then you use it anywhere. So just clear your funda. Okay, so after interface we have to design this implementation, my string class, and we have to implement my string. So we need a method, implement method. Okay, and generally what we did, this is your class and my string class, that's it. And here you can create a value of this. So say a private string we have, and this is a name, and if I want to be return something, I just give the name in constructor. This is Dagger, and we have to return that name. Okay, so this is your class. This is means we have a multiple classes likewise that you can create it. And maybe interface, without interface, I just describe you the details. So you can use implementations, maybe a multiple implementations for the interface. So this be the classes A, B, C, D, multiple classes on that. So this is your main activity, and now we have to work with the Dagger. So what I told you in a docs, first you have to make a class module. So this is used for the class that just work in constructing. So for that module, we can say that this is my string module. So you have to create my string module. We can do the less code when we work with the view model and data live data classes, but at this time just show you details of working. So here you can say that is at module. Okay, so once this module be ready, you can say we have a method. So this is your static, because of its a singleton, so we make it static. So this is provide, you give any name to that, provide my string. I want to give this a string, and here you can say this is a return and new my string class, because of each and every time we never be use that, so we can create a singleton. So for this singleton and the methods we have to provide, so we can say it is a provides and at singleton. So this to be ready, as I told you, the use of the module, provide, and now we have to go for the inject. Singleton we have done. Okay, so these once we ready, we have to go for our component, because of component is a bridge between the inject and your module. So first I'm creating the component, then we go for inject. So this is a component, and you can say it my component. Okay, and for this component, don't make it class again, make it interface, because of no need for descriptions. We have just no need of implementation. We have a declarations we here. So we can say it is a void inject, and which we have to inject, we have to inject our main activity object. So whenever we need it inject, we have put it like that. Just here we have in a future I will show to you view model classes, live data classes, or the user repository where you need it. So here you have to work with a singleton also, because of it's also be a singleton, no instances for that. So we have a component that is the most important. We have to work with the modules, and that modules be equal to your my string module dot class. That's the most important. You have to mark this. Okay, so these things be ready, and now we have a module label be your app, or your we can say activity label. I will describe you on the tutorial. So just first I have to create my application, because of I want it for my complete application. So say this is my application, and in this we can say that's our extents of application, as we doing when we start our project. And this is on create method, and we have to call this component be here, because of it this component is for complete application, or for your application activity level. So you decide for that. So at this time I'm using for the complete application. So say my component, and here you have to return that. So for this you can say this is my component, and this is get my component method automatically be created, and you can say return your my component, because Dagger create a class automatically. So for this you have to rebuild it, because of you have to know that what is our actual Dagger class. So if you have a Dagger of my component, it automatically create a Dagger my component. If you have any other name of the Dagger, so that's the Dagger be automatically create your class. So once you done this, you have to rebuild it. So once it's rebuilt, then we go for the section other. Okay, it has done, and now we have to return this as an. So for what we need my component as create my component. Create a method, and here you return that Dagger. You can see that this is the class. Once you rebuild it, you can see that be there, and this is your builder. And after the builder we have my string module. At this time it's showing me the that's depreciate life like, but do not worry about that. It just we have a multiple modules levels it works, and sometimes it's show to you, and maybe it we can use classes be there. I will show you the other way to approach it, but at this time at a learning basis you just go for this, you follow this. Okay, and here you can see that this is a new my string module, and dot build. So you can see that we cannot directly interact with it. We have a bridge that is called my string module that had done by the components. Okay, so that means this is the component which created your my string module. Okay, and this is your application label. So that has done. everything be here for my application level. And so you have to go for Android manifest and you give the name to your application as my application. That's it. Now we have to go for our main activity, and that is important, that which we have to inject. I have to inject our interface, and that is my string. Okay, and we can say it my string. This is our inject value which we have to call, and here I have to give the name to the layout text value, that is id text val. Okay, so this be done. So then we have to call this idb here. So for that, what to do? First, you can say that this is our text view, and in text view we have to call find view by id and r.id.text val. Okay, now we have to make our application label be here. So this is our application, and that application be get application, and that application done with your get my component, and this is the inject of that. So inject, we have main activity dot this. Okay, so that means simple injection of that. So whenever it works, it say text val, sorry, yeah, text view, that is dot set text, and this is our what we, that is my string dot method my non-var. So that means whenever we need it, we can access it. So this is very simple structure. So maybe this kind of things, we have a multiple classes with there, you can call it. You just simply main funda is you have to create the module, you have to create the component, and this is your application or your activity level things. I will explain more about on my other tutorial. You just say that this very simple structure of application. Now we have to run and check it what happened with this Jenny motion. Okay, so let's see in what happened. Yeah, so you can say this is a dagger. So this is a very basic example, and because of lot of classes I'm using just for your description, I will make it more easy, more annotations we can use. I will show you in my other examples. So this is the first introduction of a dagger video. I will explain more on my coming videos related to the MVVM. Thank you so much for the day.